I will say, if you are
and
in any way
75%
squeamish about
a twist,
and no
one
one
dish
mentions
Hey guys, welcome back to another video. First things first, before we get into what this video is about, although you probably already know from the title, I wanted to set some things straight in terms of posting schedule and kind of the direction the channel's going in currently. I work a full-time job, and unfortunately that means that the times that I'm being able to read are vastly not consistent. And so that means that I also can't post consistently about books. So the plan that I've come up with, if some of you have been tuning in for the last few videos, is that I'm gonna be spreading things out for reading with other things. I like to draw and I love to journal, and so I thought that I'd kind of incorporate those things as well as reading, so that I'm not so behind. I haven't been reading a lot. I have, but not consistently like I used to. I used to be able to read books in 2 days. Can't do that anymore. So hopefully people who stayed for books will also stay for the drawing, and vice versa, as well as the journaling that I'll probably be doing soon. But yeah, I hope that's okay. So into what today's video is about. I think it's really fun. I'm hoping that I will be able to accomplish it. But it is reading 7 books in 7 days, because my reading goal is a bit behind. So today's reading challenge is I'm trying to do books by color. The unfortunate thing is, I guess I don't buy very many colorful books. So a lot of these are very questionable of whether they belong in certain categories. But I have already chosen my first book, but the rest of them will be randomly chosen. So the first book is one that I already started reading, which is why it's the first one on this list. But it is Stiff by Mary Roach. The Curious Lives of Human Cadavers. I picked this book up at the library, and then the woman that worked there said that people really liked it, so I thought I'd also grab it. I am not very far into it. I'm probably just like 2 chapters into it right now. Barely 2. I haven't even finished the second chapter. I think it's good so far. It's not... She said she didn't read it, but her daughter did. Her daughter said it was a little creepy. I'm not getting that yet, but I hope it's not. It's just a little weird. It's like 298 pages, so not that long. I will be listening to the audiobook of this instead of reading it, because usually if I listen to the audiobook, I can put it on 1.2 speed and finish like an 8-hour book in 6 hours, 5 hours. So hopefully that is how this one goes. Today is Sunday. I have a Sunday-Monday work schedule, which means I'm off Sunday and Monday. So this is my first day of my break. So today's book and tomorrow's book are probably going to be easier to finish than the next 5. But we'll see how it goes.
Here's Flophouse. Figuring the man to be well on his way to cadaverdom anyway, the men did undertake it. A series of modern-day Birkenhair-type killings took place barely 10 years ago in Barranquilla, Colombia. The case centered on a garbage scavenger named Oscar Rafael Hernandez, who in March 1992 survived an attempt to murder him and sell his corpse to the local medical school as an anatomy lab specimen. Like most of Colombia, Barranquilla lacked an organized recycling program. It's there to this day, along with one of several wallets made from Burke's skin. Though Knox was never charged for his role in the murders, public sentiment held him accountable. That's why I'm here. That's what I want to know. When you let nature take its course, just exactly what course does it take? My guide to the world of human disassembly is a patient, amiable man named Art. Well, another reason. Cleanup's a breeze. The remains of this morning's thighs have been picked up and repacked in the cooler, a tidy, bloodless mass grave of low-calorie dessert. Not that a ballistic gelatin shootout is completely devoid of gore. Loden points to the toe of my sneaker at a Pulp Fiction flick of spatter. You got some simulant on your shoe. Rick Loden never...
Hello again. It is now a few hours later. It's like 2:30. I started at like 8. I'm done with Stiff. Very good. 5 out of 5 stars. I will say, if you are in any way squeamish about dead things, I would not read it. It's a little, if you know, you know. If you've read it, you've read it. Chapter 3. I'm sorry I had to skip. It's the only one I had to. It got a little too much. But the other ones were fine. They were really interesting. We had a lot of grave robbing, which I think is very interesting to read about. But if you're squeamish in any way, I would probably steer clear. But if you're not, and you're really interested in like mortuary stuff or the ecological benefits of like human composting or anything like that, I would totally give it a read. She's got really dry humor, so she's weirdly funny, but like in a self-deprecating way. It's 2:30. Already finished the book. I may or may not start my next one, but if I do, it will happen today. This is the part of the video where I mentioned earlier that some books may not exactly fit into certain categories. The random generator picked Red next, and so we're going to read The Only One Left by Riley Sager. I have never read a Riley Sager book before. I have heard a lot of very polarizing things about this book, but I'm not very intelligent in the ways of like murder mysteries, so any plot twist, I am always floored. It's not very long. I don't want to like, it's got like almost 400 pages, but I will be also listening to the audiobook because there's no way I could get these books as fast as I plan to if I'm not reading the audiobook. To update from the last clip. We are 35% of the way through, so a little over a quarter the way through the book. I'm confused, but that's not necessarily a bad thing because I'm almost always confused when mystery books, like when I read them, so I don't think it's any fault of the book. I just think I'm not that good at figuring out plot twists before they happen, but I am enjoying it so far. This is all gonna be spoiler free, so don't worry. But if you don't know what The Only One Left is about, we'll give a very simple, summed up version. Our main character, Kit, is an at-home nurse, and something goes wrong, and she is suspended for 6 months. But she is absolved of any wrongdoings and is allowed to come back to work. And one of her first assignments she gets is working with Lenore. Lenore Hope is like uber famous, like urban legend in the town that they live in. And the urban legend is basically she killed her whole family. There's a little rhyme. It's really creepy. But she has not really given any details about what happened that night. But she ends up trusting Kit and basically tells her about what happens that night. She says it wasn't her, but she's not fully absolved of guilt. She's not completely innocent, is what she says. But I'm really enjoying it so far. It's really easy to read. I have my speed at like 1.5. So even though it says there's 10 hours left, it probably won't be. I'm enjoying it. I think it'll be like a 4.5 or 4-star read. I think the issue is I'm just really confused. So I'm trying to follow along. I am following along. It's actually really easy to read, but I think when I read mystery books or horror books or thriller books, I'm just along for the ride mostly. And it's not that I'm actively trying to solve it. Like, I want to know who did it, and I have a few theories, but they always end up getting refuted by like a couple just random pieces of evidence. But I'll see if I update about any major plot twists. There's been one that I didn't see coming, which is a feat. I really should have seen it coming, but I didn't. We're now 76% of the way into the book, and I'm a little sad because I think I know what's going on. And I've never had this happen where I guess an ending and I'm pretty sure I'm right. Yeah, but I'll be back in case, and I'll let you know if I am right, but I'm pretty sure I am. I'm a little sad. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little sad. Maybe the twist that happens will make that not as bad, but we'll see. I've got like 2 hours left, so I'm gonna finish up and then see you guys in a bit. Hello guys, it's 5:40. We are done. The only one left. I don't really know what to say. It's gonna be spoiler free, obviously, but do you know that clip in the third Descendants movie when like Hades is like rolling and rolling and rolling and rolling, and then like really anticlimactic, just kind of one more roll? That is the end of this book. The beginning and like up to 75%, really good. There were a couple twists. I was like, oh shit, didn't even think about that. Was I right? Partly yes and no. But I think if I had paid just a little bit more attention, I would have guessed it. Do I think it's worth it? Yeah, I think it's good. I mean, I think everyone should at some point read a thriller, and I think this is an okay one. Frankly, I'm a little surprised at myself. Usually even the corniest of twists, I'm like, didn't see that coming. I would still say it's a 4.5 stars, definitely, but not 5. Maybe I'd like to read more Riley Sager books. It just kind of felt like when I read a thriller book, I'm like, there's the tiny plot twists that eventually leads up to the really big one. But this one had a bunch of tiny ones. And like, that was it. There were ones I guessed purely because of word choice. Like, I realized a few things based off of dialogue between the characters. Like the dialogue that was said and everything. So that was easy to guess. I wouldn't say it was anticlimactic because a lot of shit happened at the end, but it felt that too much shit happened at the end that I'm like, I'm a little bit on the fence. But like, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad, you know? And I got through it really fast. So 4.5, because I don't want to give it 3 And I think 4 or 3 stars is too low. It was just the ending. It felt like I was getting fucking whiplash. And I'm like, the whole time, like, I didn't see most of these twists coming, except for, like, the big one, which I said, like, I half guessed. Didn't really get the smaller ones, except for maybe, like, 1 or 2. But I felt like I was just getting, like, smacked around the whole time, you know? And I just don't know how I feel about it. Get what I said earlier, we're not reading this book. I have asked literally everybody and they tell me that this is red and not orange. So it looks red to me, but like for real it looks red. I mean it looks orange, whatever. There's too much discourse. That's not our read. We're actually going to be reading The Sweetness at the Bottom of the Pie by Alan Bradley. I got this book as an audiobook from my dad like 10 years ago probably, and apparently it's really good, and so I'm gonna read that instead. And it's a green book, and per the list I had, I did not have a green book because I literally don't have a green book that I either haven't read already or is like the second or third book in a series, and obviously that's just not gonna work. Like a whodunit, so we're in the same realm as everyone in my family has killed someone. It's just not so much discourse about the color of the book, because it is one of the reprints of the covers is green, like fully green, no doubt. It's a green book. Update over. Anyway, hi guys, it's Tuesday. I'm filming on my phone, so the audio is shit. The video is not that bad, but the audio is definitely probably not good. I got to chapter 2. It's not really a book I can read very fast, because the audiobook, like, reader person, she reads fast. So it's like at 1.3 speed right now, and I'm doing fine. So I think it'll be fine. And hopefully I'll have gotten through most of this book. I've got like 7 hours, so I'll probably have a little bit left when I get home. But yeah, I'll update you guys in the next clip. It's Wednesday. I did an update, and I'm gonna explain why, as also why I've rated this book 3 stars. So I finished it around 9 p.m. last night, and I really didn't want to then film a section because I was really tired. But I didn't like it. So I'm a little upset. There's like tens of thousands of reviews on this book on Goodreads, and a lot of them are 5 stars. And no one mentions the like blatantly racist remarks in this book. Like, I mean, I'm super upset. There's a whole section. I don't even care about spoiling it. So the guy that dies used to know our main character's dad. They used to go to school together. And at this boys' school, they had a magic club. And so Flavia's dad, our main character, and the guy that died used to have this magic act. And it involves dressing in what they call Oriental mumbo jumbo, a very stereotypical accent. There is like a string that pulls their eyes back. It's so bad. Like it's not good. And one of the things I can see someone saying is that, well, they would have been children, or they would have been in this boys' school in the 1920s. The book is set in the like 50s. But I'm like, this book was written in 2009. Like, that was less than 20 years ago. Like, we knew then that these jokes were not okay. There's also a weirdly colonialist joke about Indians and how, like, they used to stare up at the sky or the sun or something until we civilized them. I'm like, y'all are crazy for that. I'm sorry. Y'all are insane. There's one fucking review that was 1 stars where, like, the whole thing is basically my, like, reasoning why I didn't like it. It's just, like, yeah, the weirdly fucking racist jokes, and I'm like, this shit is disgusting. Like, it's like bully behavior, and I just couldn't fucking do it. And you'd expect, because Flavia is like 11 and her dad is telling her these things, and I'm expecting there to be a section where he's like, but it was the 20s. We did a lot of stupid shit, but we've learned now. But no, there's multiple other, like, flashbacks to when that was happening. And, like, even Flavia's the one who said, like, they used to stare up at the sun until we civilized them. I'm like, you're crazy for having an 11-year-old girl think that. And, like, there's people who are giving this book 5 stars, but are not mentioned. It's not even just, like, a one-off little microaggression instance where you can be like, well, maybe they didn't know. No, it's like 1 or 2 chapters of him explaining this shit. And by the end, he's like, and now we're not friends anymore. And now he's dead. I'm like, that's not where we should be ending this conversation. Anyway, 3 stars. So I don't know where the last clip ended off at. I had to go because I needed to go to work. So I don't really know what we were talking about last. So I'll just go ahead and introduce our next book. But first, I would like to put forth a new idea for this video. I don't think I can do the rainbow thing. I think it started because of The Sweetness at the Bottom of the Pie, where I was like, oh, it's a green book. I'll just read it because it's a green book. Instead of, like, actually looking at the books I have or, like, books I want to read that might be green. So we're not doing that anymore. I don't know what the title of this video is going to be, but Gone Wrong is definitely going to be at the end of it. So I will introduce our next book. It's The Whispering Night by Susan Dennard. If you've been on my channel for about 1.5 years, you've heard me talk about this series. I love it so much. But this one came out last October, and I got it and I instantly started reading it because I was so excited. It's such a good series. And then I dropped it. Yeah, and I didn't finish it. So it kind of just sat on my bookshelf collecting dust, pretty much. And I'm really enjoying it. I don't know how long this book is going to take me to finish because it does say I have 7 hours left. And it is currently 4:15. So we'll see. This is probably going to be one of those books where I don't finish it today. I finish it tomorrow, which is totally fine. And since we are no longer doing the rainbow thing, I can just pick a book that is a little bit shorter, and I do have one that I've kind of been wanting to read. That is my dog. Kind of been wanting to read, actually 2, but only one of them is, like, short enough that I could be okay with reading it while finishing another book. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I talked about The Sweetness at the Bottom of the Pie and my rating. Not fun. Do not recommend for anyone who is a bit sensitive. Like, just don't read it. Just don't. It's not good. If you don't know anything about the Luminaries, let me put you on it. Okay, we have our main character, Winnie Wednesday. She lives in Hemlock Falls, which is a tiny little town that, coincidentally enough, is completely surrounded by a forest that tries to kill people. There are monsters inside, banshees, werewolves, giant arthropods, insects, spiders, name it. It's probably in that fucking forest. And so they're trained to be luminaries, which are basically like a play on words of like bringing light to something or the dark forest. But they basically are like trained killers that go into the forest each night after the mist rises and kills the things that are haunting it. So, really fun. However, Winnie and her entire family, her brother and her mother, are all basically exiled to the extants. Is that what it is? Extants? Like the outside of their town, because her dad did some bad shit. Well, maybe did some bad shit. Anyway, they're exiled out, and she can no longer take the test to become a luminary. But 4 years go by, and she's like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just gonna show up to the trials, and maybe they'll let me join. And what ensues is such a fast-paced, like, from this book until the beginning of the first book, it's only been about a month. It's only been about a month. Are you kidding me? Oh, wow. Okay. But it's really super fast-paced. The books are short, and I always have such a fun time. I would probably categorize it as like a fantasy horror, fantasy thriller. It's a bit gory. Because she's exiled, she's on cleanup duty. And that basically means that after the sun rises and after all, like, the Nightwalkers leave the forest, I guess, or go back into the ground, she's basically tasked with picking up the leftover bits and pieces. Winnie she's just my kind of main character. She's not overly confident and overly cocky that it's a bit cringy, but she's also not like, oh, I can't do it, guys. It's too hard. She's very much in the middle. She's a little mediocre, and I fuck with that so much. Hi everyone, welcome. It is Thursday. I had a day off of work, so I've just been reading, basically cleaning the house, stuff like that. So I want to talk about the book that we were reading, that we've now finished, and then the book that we started. So we were reading The Whispering Night. We are now done with her. 5 stars. 5 stars. Yeah. This was almost exactly what I needed after the downfall that was The Sweetness at the Bottom of the Pie. To say that this was the pick-me-up I needed is understating what I feel about this book. If you haven't read the series, please go read it. Please go read it. It's so good. It's so good. And it's short, it's fast-paced. Like I said, a month. A little over a month. That is all. That is the span of these 3 books. Wow. You know, I need, if anyone has like any more recommendations like this, please give them to me. Please give them to me. Like small town fantasy thriller, fantasy horror. Yes, I want more of this. My camera is about to die. We're gonna do this next part really quick. Our next book is The Vander Beekers of 141st Street. It's a kid's book. If I get any kids book hate in the comments, I'm going to lose my mind. I love kids books. For one, it's short. It's super easy to read. The like print is super big. I'm like, please, I want more. Let me have more, please. Anyway, oh, you can see him. You're on camera, babes. You're on camera. Anyway, this is what we're doing for the next couple of hours. It's only a 5-hour long audiobook, so it'll probably be like 3 hours. But yeah, it's so cute so far. It's so wholesome. It's like nostalgia for like a childhood I did not have. Like I had one sibling, and there's 5 children in this brownstone, and they all have a very unique personality, and it's so cute and it's so wholesome, and I'm loving it so far. But I need to make dinner, and I need to get my dogs and take them out. Definitely on a much higher note. And so I'm liking that so far. I'm liking it. But anyway, peace.
The 8th grade dance. My mom said Carlson will bring me a corsage, and I should get him a boutonniere. Isn't that wild? I think corsages are so gorgeous. How do you think I should wear my hair? Should I leave it down? I wonder if Carlson is going to wear a suit. Wouldn't that be so romantic? I'm so excited. Do you want me to ask Carlson whether he knows anyone who would take you? You're so pretty. I know it wouldn't be hard to find get her attention. This is it, Lainey declared, jabbing her finger at the tree she had chosen. Seriously? Asked Oliver. You want our last Christmas tree to look like it was pulled out of a forest fire? Ollie, Lainey protested, stomping her foot and pouting. I love it. It's cute and tall, and I like the branches, and I want it. The siblings looked at each other. Mr. Ritchie watched the Vanderbeekers with his hands clasped behind him, awaiting the final decision. Issa was the first to cave. Lainey has never chosen the tree before.
It is Friday. Hold on. It is Friday. Let's talk about some books. So, we finished The Vanderbeekers. 5 out of 5 stars. Loved it. It was super cute. If you've read it, Lainey is my favorite. She is the youngest of the 5 children. And she is unabashedly herself. Like, an unbothered queen with a trained rabbit, I think, is an amazing character choice. But yeah, 5 stars. I think it was just like a filler book. I was really wanting to read it. I did. It's over. But I did have so much fun while reading it. And if you want a quick, easy kids book, definitely go for it. It's got a lot of books in the series, and I do plan on reading more, just not for this video. Our next book is a drastic fucking left turn. We're reading All In by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I don't know if I've talked about the other 2 books. This is the 3rd book, the 1st and 2nd book of the Natural series, but I did read those, and I do have, I think I have a review for the 1st book. I don't know about the 2nd book. I'm pretty sure, but they will be on my TikTok, and it'll be linked in the description below. And I don't know, I just got caught up in other things and I just didn't keep reading. But I thought that this video was as good a video as any to help me get through the 3rd book. I am almost halfway through the book right now. I'm on chapter 29 of like, I don't know, 50 or 40 or something like that. Yeah, like 55 or something. So a little, almost halfway through it. I'm liking it so far. It reads a lot like the other ones. I'm having a bit of trouble. But I think it's also just how I am with this series. I don't guess who the person is by the end. In fact, throughout the entire book, I'm so fucking confused. But it has, up until this point, taken me this long to figure out who my favorite character of the book is. It used to be Leah because, I don't know, I just love a bitch. You know, I love someone who's just unabashedly a bitch. But I like Sloane a lot in this book. She reminds me of one of my friends, and I just can't help but love her so much, and I just want to hug her sometimes. It's a little funny because I'm listening to the audiobook, and I know Dean is supposed to be a little southern, but the voice that the person who reads the audiobook has given him is very much like Billy Bob. Very, very southern, very rural southern, and I'm like... It brings me out of the fantasy and narrative sometimes, but it's not the worst thing. It's not the worst thing. Might get some clips for you guys, so stick around for those. Yeehaw! Hi guys, it is Saturday. Today's the last day of our challenge, but not really. I'll explain. I have just finished, well I didn't just finish, I finished just a few hours ago, All In by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I'm gonna rate it a 4.75 because, and here's a few of my thoughts. First thought, I have an issue with YA mysteries in general, to where it kind of gets, it's fun. Like, it's so fun and it's so fast paced and I read them so quickly. But sometimes it just like, you forget it's a YA and then like something happens and you're like, it brings you back. It brings you back to the fact that you're reading a YA mystery novel. And the only reason it's not 5 stars is because it's getting a little predictable. I hate saying that because I really, really do like the series. And I rated the first and second book 5 stars. And not that the mystery or the case that they were trying to solve was predictable, but just like the way that the story has to go is predictable. When we first meet Cassie in the first book, we're introduced to this big kind of dark cloud that's over her life. And when they introduce it, I was kind of like, at some point in this series, this is gonna happen. And it has come to fruition. And I can't say anything without spoiling it. But I don't know, it just felt a little lackluster to me. Like, I was kind of expecting it. But the case was fun. Really liked the case. I liked the aspect. Sloane is my favorite character. Although I wish more of the story had centered around her. Yeah, there's only so much you can nitpick. But yeah, I rated it 4.75 stars, which, I mean, we're on a pretty big upturn currently. We've had a couple really good books so far. So, I did finish this one today. I was supposed to finish it yesterday, but I was home alone, and I didn't want to read this, while I was home alone. So, I was like, yeah, no, I think I'm good. So I stopped reading. I don't know if I filmed a clip of me reading this book, but I probably got like 3 hours into it after the last clip, and just kind of stopped. And I was like, you know what? It's time to go to bed. It's time to lock all the doors and go to bed. Didn't want to keep this part in. I actually kind of just wanted to not mention it. But then I realized that there were probably a lot of people who want to start book channels, who have full-time jobs, who feel as though they can't keep up. And I've been feeling that a little bit lately. So I wanted to keep this in to let you know that it's okay. You don't all have to finish books at a really stupid, ridiculous rate. And we're allowed to set goals, and we're allowed to sometimes not make them, but still continue to push to finish those goals. Is The Last Graduate. I read the first book of this, which is A Deadly Education, and loved it, but I read it 2 years ago. And so I had to spark notes what happened in the book because I remembered the overarching story, but I couldn't remember logistics or like really nitpicky details. So I did have to spark note it. Really easy to read. I like her writing style. And I'm really excited. This is a trilogy, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. Last time I checked, there was a book 3. And I don't know. I mean, this book might make me want to read the rest of them. But I did enjoy the first book a lot. And I think if I didn't rate it like 4.5, I rated it 5 stars. So I lied in the last clip. We're not reading The Graduate. Instead, I have chosen a different book. We're gonna read The Dark Talent. It is the 5th book in the Alcatraz versus the Evil Librarian series. I haven't talked about this series much on my channel, but I think I've talked about it on my TikTok, probably, maybe, probably not. I just really didn't want to read it, and that's how it goes sometimes, you know? So we're gonna read this instead. I've got 2 hours left on the audiobook. It's a really short book. And yeah, I think I just needed something else, to be honest. I just couldn't do anything heavy, I think. And this is the antithesis of heavy. So yeah, it's a middle grade series by Brandon Sanderson. So if you want to dip your toes into his writing style, but you're really not ready for like Mistborn or anything like that, this is probably a really good start for you. I think I'm just gonna listen to it while editing this video, and then get it finished, and then I'll come back and I can tell you guys my thoughts. I really just didn't want to sit through another 11-hour, 12-hour audiobook, because the next video I have planned, which will be another reading video, I need to kind of get started on it, like tomorrow, so don't really have time to do that, and it's 2:30 right now, so I think that's gonna be our plan. And I hope you guys don't mind that much. I certainly don't. So that's what we're doing instead. But it's really cool because it's got pictures in it. But it's got pictures in it to go along with like the writing, and I don't know, I just love Brandon Sanderson's writing. So if you want to dip your toe into it, I would definitely go for this, which is like middle grade book series. So yeah. But this video is almost done, so I'm pretty sure the last clip will be the last clip of this video. So I hope you guys had fun. Yeah, let's just get into it.
Plummeting at high velocity through the air. Fortunately, I had barely enough time to wrap myself in the towel-like length of cloth Grandpa had given me. Then I crashed into the ground and bounced. You see, glass weave cloth can be very helpful for not dying. It had saved Bastille on numerous occasions, and this time it saved me. I was left with a very broken sheet of cloth, cracked like glass, but I survived. Diff plowed into the ground beside me, then Grandpa, my mother, and finally...
We are finally done with The Dark Talent. Didn't take me that long. Like I said, I only had 2 hours left. 5 stars. Wow. If I could rate it 6 stars, I would. For anyone who's read it or understands what the story is about, this is kind of the last time we see Alcatraz. The next book is in another character's POV, which I will most definitely be reading. Yeah, it was so good. Really, like, culminated to a fantastic end. Can't wait to have Bastille's POV, honestly. Really excited about that. That is our 7th book. So we're done now. We're done with this video. Thoughts. We were on a steep downturn at the beginning of this video, and I think we've really, like, just gone up, pretty much. I was not expecting to love as much of the books I read as I have. It's been a journey. I have not read this many books in a week ever. So I'm a little bit, I wouldn't say I'm in a slump. I think the next video I'm really excited for. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. It's been a wild fucking ride. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Let me know if you enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!